All right, everybody. All right, we're live. My guest Rob is having some technical issues, so we'll just pause a little bit until he gets his end figured out. He's lost all internet service, which is super weird. So we're just gonna sit and wait patiently until maybe he gets his stuff back online. We'll see. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I know I had a live stream last night. A little unexpected, but that's what the guest wanted to do. So I was more than happy to oblige on Friday. More than happy to oblige. But yes, we're waiting on our guest. He's having some technical issues. So we're just pausing, waiting on him. But like I said, last night's live stream was awesome. Shout outs to Cricket. Oh, Fish. Hey, yeah. Shout outs to Fish in the comments. I've seen him in Rob's chat before. Nice fella. We are waiting on Rob to join us. He's having a little technical issues. His internet just decided not to work, so we're kind of waiting patiently. Hopefully he gets back with us. But if not, I'll continue along with the live stream as promised. I don't like to make plans and then not do them, so that's why we're here, kicking it live. Yes, you say your tech is malfunctioning too. My mic setup, not much, just a Bluetooth headset, man. Good audio, thank you, appreciate that. Just got a Bluetooth headset. All right, we got 2 in the chat. Appreciate you. We're just waiting on our guest, Rob. He's having a little technical issues, so I'm filling in the gaps. I know I've probably said that a couple times, but we just had a new person in the chat. We were gonna go and just discuss some things. We're gonna go balls out tonight, like we did last night. Last night's live was really good chat. I want to thank Cricket for coming in and doing that with me. It was super fun. Gonna have him back on the show. Come to think of it, just gonna call it 9th Level Podcast because it just sounds nice and it's my name. And I was thinking of some other things, but they didn't have quite the ring to it. Gonna pause here for just 1 second and see if maybe Rob has replied. Give me 1 second, folks. Thank you for listening. Right now, I'm hitting a pin, and it's nice. Just give me 1 second, please, and thank you. All right, 3 in the chat. Okay, hey, thank you. Just a little pause there, filling in the gaps. Rob is having some technical problems, so I'm just filling in the gaps here. I want to thank everybody for stopping in and joining me right now. Hopefully a little later on we can get him in the chat. We can start talking about something. Last night was very interesting. We talked about aliens, talked about forklift certification, if anyone was interested in that. Thank you for stopping in and giving us the ear for Oh, I don't know. I think that one was from an hour, almost an hour and a half. It went pretty strong. That was something that it was unplanned. It just got thrown together within like a couple days, so that was very nice to have it come off the cup. How are you, Rob? Talking? No, we're using StreamYard. It's an app that you can use. It's kind of like Skype, but it's a little different. I think his technical issues are with his phone, unfortunately. Not the application itself. All right, I just got a message from Rob. He says that as soon as he gets his stuff together, he'll be joining us. So I will be on the lookout for that. So tonight was just going to be a free-for-all talk. Anything goes, really. Like last night, I really want to have these free-for-all, no boundaries kind of talks, because it doesn't seem like anyone's kind of doing that. Just whatever topic is on our brains at that moment. It just seems like everything's kind of scripted. Doesn't seem like anything's like really off the cuff anymore, which is kind of sad, because we're getting away from natural creation and we're going towards more manufactured creation, which is sad. You don't want to see happen to a lot of content creators or just artists in general, where it's just manufactured. It's just kind of sad. But with that being said, we are not manufactured here. We are off the cuff. There's going to be no rules, like I said. But if I feel like you're bullshitting me, I'm going to call you out on it. That's just the rules. But there are really no rules, like I said, so it's kind of a contradictory statement. But that is like the only rule. You know, if I feel like you're bullshitting the rest of the community, then, you know, it's time to get you out of here. Not that I wouldn't welcome something like that, because I believe conflict is a good thing. You have to like flex your conflict muscles a little bit. You have to sometimes hear some things you may disagree with, and I think that's good for this channel to have maybe some discussion about some disagreements that we may have about maybe spirituality, or maybe thoughts on psychedelics, or what's going on in the world. We're allowed to disagree and have those discussions. All right. Hey, Kyle, what's up? Yo, Kyle, I sent you a message. If you want to join the chat and be a guest on here, you're more than welcome to, bub. Just get in your DMs, brother. We'll get you on the show. Oh yeah, playing devil's advocate. That is kind of like one of my main jobs. I feel like on the planet is to play devil's advocate a little bit, to maybe or maybe not push people in a direction, or just maybe push people out of their comfort zones a little bit, you know? And that's always good for people. Yeet, says Kyle. So yeah, if Rob or Kyle would like to get on the panel, you guys are more than welcome to. If Rob gets his stuff together, I'm not sure what's going on with his end. He's just saying that it's a technical issue. He has no internet. It's weird. Oh yes, a little bit about me, Fish. I'm Native American and Irish as far as like my ethnicity, I guess you would call it, but that's where my spirituality like background comes from. And I consider myself a Heyoka, and it's kind of like a spiritual warrior, like a shaman, but also a person that can battle different, I would say, not like physically and metaphysically, spirits or entities. That's kind of where I'm at as far as like my life goes. The 9th level thing, I haven't explained it. I'm a life path 9, so I just figure 9th level, 9th path, life path 9, you know, kind of just runs the same, so it's kind of good. All right, we got Rob back.
What,
Yo, what's up?
Yo,
Ah,
Internet wasn't working, and then all of a sudden it started working again. And I get an email. So I'm going to read this email real quick.
okay.
So this is from Ken Stasinski. He is a 33rd degree Mason from, I believe he's from Williamsville. He said, I just got back into town and would like to speak to you regarding this. As a Catholic Freemason, I am interested in the subject, and your ideas about the Basilica are extremely intriguing. Personally, I am not a Templar, but I have published historical research on them and know of many Masonic Templars who have time during the day to grab some coffee with me. That's going to be fascinating. So after this video, I'll email him back. Yeah.
Wow, we're getting somewhere. That's what's up, man. I'm glad he's interested in your theories on the Basilica. For those who don't know, Rob is on well, actually, we're all collectively on this kind of journey, but Rob specifically, like physically, is on a journey, and he's figuring some things out about his own hometown, which I find fascinating. And if you guys want to hop on over there to DM Turner's YouTube, check all that out, you're more than welcome to. We're just going to go ahead and plug it. Go ahead, DM Turner, go ahead. It's the same username he's using now, so if y'all want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. Hop on this journey with us.
Have some of the videos locked. Stuff is they're still sensitive. The information you start talking about starts to get a little sensitive, and it kind of freaks me out sometimes. But like the ones where I'm like doing tours around the city and stuff, like actually showing the landmarks and the symbols, I'm gonna make sure that those are open for people to look at. I find it fascinating that he emailed me back, because most people will kind of just shrug you off, because I was like, yo, I think Father Baker had prophecies of the end of the world, channeling etheric energy, Knights Templar treasure, demons trapped inside the church in brass containers. Most people are like, take your fucking meds, dude. This guy's like, one.
No. No doubt. Yeah, that's very, very fascinating that you're on this what seems like a very cryptic journey, with hidden messages and very occult, deep-like message, and you're getting somewhere with someone that knows a little, I wouldn't say a little bit more, but is more ingrained with that kind of culture.
Exactly. Yeah, the main question I asked him too, I was like, if you could help me decode the symbols, because I've looked in some books and some of them you just can't access the symbols, like certain symbols. You got the square and the compass and the G and the ashlar and just a lot of different things. But the symbols you find in the Basilica, there's 33 of them that wrap around the building. They tell a story, and I can't figure out what any of them mean for the most part. So hopefully he's going to help me decode that, because I think that's going to be the next big clue, is what does it really say? In the eyes of a Mason reading the symbols, what does this mean? Instead of the eyes of just me. I'm not a Mason. I don't live it. I'm just interested. Very interested.
I think you're going to blow his top, brother. Honestly.
I think I have too. I don't know if I told you about this. I told Kyle about this, right? So I'm talking to God. I'm just praying, and I'm like, can you please grab my hands and show me where to go? And my thumb, I'm just looking at my hands moving. They know what to do. Like God had grabbed my hands. That's how I would describe it. Click on Google Earth, I zoom into Buffalo real quick, and immediately, not like looking around for a minute, like immediately brought me to Grover Cleveland High School. And I'm looking at it, and I get like a street view, and I'm like, oh, I could see that there's like fine detailed stone carvings on here. So I'm like, we're gonna go metal detect it. We're gonna go right in the middle of the yard, because it was Columbus Day, actually, because there was no school that day, because it's in a school. You can't really just go up to a public school and start digging in their front yard. But there was this guy walking his dog, and he's like, I've never seen anyone do this. He's like, Buffalo has rich history. Why are you here? And I started talking to him, and I didn't give away too much, because I didn't want to scare the guy off. But I was like, yeah, I'm like, Freemasons built Buffalo. I'm like, the Pan American Exposition, first powered city, all these intricate stone carvings and things that we don't do anymore. And he's like, this is fascinating. He's like, then he starts talking about this TED Talk. I think her name was Sarah Parcak. Sarah P and then Parcak, Parcak. She has TED Talks, and it's all about rediscovering lost ancient ruins, whether it's from deforestation or other means, to try to have like some huge effort to do it. And he's like, I'm super into this stuff. And he's like, all of a sudden he's like, he's like, give me your email address. So we exchange number, I give my email. He is a lead architect for the city. And he has all the plans when Buffalo was originally made by Olmsted and all these Freemasons. Ooh. And I mean everything. He's like, I have exactly how much stone they used, where they used it, whether there was sand, not sand, tool lists, like all the maps. He has like the, pre-city, before the city was even built, where everything is. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is great. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, Woo! No doubt. That is one hell of a lead, man. If we're doing detective dragnet type shit, yeah, that's one hell of a lead, man. Congratulations on that for sure. With your whole side of the mystery, especially with things that are close to you, physically, do you feel some way that you were plopped there for a reason?
100%. I am convinced it's destiny. 100% destiny. Like, we all have destiny, I guess. It's what extent are we going to take it? Because I'm pretty sure we have free will. It's one of those things where you're like, if you figure out, I do have a destiny, I could follow it or not follow it. I'm going to chase this fucking thing until it's gone. I don't know if you can miss destiny. I don't know. I feel like I'm destined to find something.
It makes me wonder, and you and I have talked about this, the ley lines, right? So It makes me wonder, especially with Native American culture, and this is just speaking on my side of the coin, with Native American culture being so prominent with that area, the Mohawks, the Iroquois, etc. It really speaks to maybe what they were doing before we had, the Basilica came along and things like that. Like if they even knew what was going on, you know what I mean? So generationally, if we were just drawn to those areas specifically, was it a ley line or was it something more? Those kind of specific things I think you could probably get down to with your dude. You know what I mean? Just talking about it with him. He's got the paperwork, doesn't he?
No, exactly. He does. And we're looking at the maps. It's going to be really cool. But even like if you look into the local history, there was huge Native American sites slap dab in the middle of where these were. So the Basilica sits on the old limestone hill. Before Lackawanna was Lackawanna, it was limestone. Before that, it was named something else. That was like the head honcho's fucking place, right where the Basilica was before we came over from Europe. Give me 1 second. How did my
Oh, you good? Okay, Fish. Let me see. Can I reply to you? Okay. I want to see if I can throw something in the comments. Because I would give him.
Oh yeah, I can't see comments. I don't see any comments.
Okay, Fish. You have to have a StreamYard account for 24 hours before we can add you to the panel, but you're more than welcome to pop on here once that happens, brother. Rob and Kyle have your contact info. Once I do one of these, or once Rob does one of these, we'll just send the link to you. You can click on it and become a guest. It's super easy. I actually love StreamYard. I don't know, Rob, do you like it? Have you been enjoying it so far?
I do. I definitely do. I like it because it's free too. It's free. It fucking works. Yeah, I'm not the most tech savvy guy, but it works and it's free, so I like it.
Oh yeah. And this is a plug for StreamYard. For $20, you can do up to like 8 hours per day, and it's not even.
Oh shit!
It's not. Yeah, you can do like, I think it's like up to 6 hours on one of these for free. So a month, which I think is pretty cool. So we can keep it popping back and forth, so we don't have to invest too much money into it. But if you do invest money into it, you can cover up the StreamYard logo, add a background, add your own kind of music and stuff. So it unlocks a little bit more, but I'm enjoying it for what it's worth.
Oh, cool. That's sweet. How many hours do we get with the free plan?
It's I think up to 6 hours a month. So I mean, like if you do, 6 hour long, streams or whatever, a month, that's not too bad.
Yeah, if we do it every Saturday, an hour and a half. Good.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what my schedule would be. Like I said, trying to do these on Saturdays, get a good community going, so that way we can all hang out and talk and share information and get to know the people in community, some of the characters that are going to be on this podcast. I really like Rob's channel. He does a lot of things solo, but I know he's wanting to get some more guests on there too. So it'll be a perfect opportunity for both of our channels to grow. And I've stated this before. I don't think that I want it just to be solely focused on one channel. Rob can have other guests on his channel. I want other guests on my channel. So it just, for both of us, it evens things out to the point where nobody's getting more attention than the other one. And I think that's 1,000% fair.
No, exactly. And I like it too. I don't know, share everything, whether it's food or time or, like we all just got to be in on it together.
Yep. Yeah, Fish, more than happy to have you on here once your account's solidified or whatever, and we do one of these on a Saturday, whether it's your channel or Rob's channel. Hop on here. Kyle, you're more than welcome too, man. Like I said, I sent you a link. If you go in your DMs or whatever, click on it. You can become a guest on here, Kyle. We can all hop on here and hang out, man. More than welcome.
I got to if Fish gets on. So this whole Freemason thing at the Basilica, right? And if I'm lucky, I'll meet with him tomorrow, or sometime during the week and talk to him. Now, 33 symbols. The acacia sprig, acacia tree keeps hot, as well as cauldrons and fire and water. I don't have anything to prove this, but this inkling in me keeps saying it's some kind of psychedelic drink. Now, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Father Baker, he had figured something out. I don't know if they had refined some type of brew, but I'm pretty sure that these guys were doing fortune telling type stuff with the magic. Yeah, so that'd be cool. So if I figure it out and I talk to this guy and he's like, oh yeah, this means this, that, and the third. Fish knows a lot about things, like a lot. So it might help because there's so many different species that we could use, to make something. There's got to be a primo brew. There is a primo brew.
Speaking of, it kind of makes you wonder if it was ayahuasca or soma or something along the lines of maybe a mushroom tea or something. But no, you're right. The acacia bush or the acacia root comes up oftentimes in a cult.
It does. Yeah. And what's interesting too is like, I never heard anything like definitive about Freemasons and doing psychedelics. I know like the Golden Dawn and like, Fellow Knights do, or Chaos Magic people. But until that P.D. Newman, Angels in Vermilion, he broke it down so well. And he's like, no, the Freemasons definitely have an interest in psychedelics and using them in ceremonies, like for various reasons. And the infamous John Dee being involved, that's a great, because that's like prophecy of all prophecies. If it's true, man, Nostradamus ain't got shit on him.
Mm-hmm.
Nostradamus ain't got shit on him.
No, that's very interesting that he's open to saying that kind of thing. In my experience, most people want to keep it very hush-hush. So it's very interesting to me to see that he's pretty open and explaining some of that. And you and I have discussed plenty of times offline that we think, or I believe, in my opinion, that it's more like a mushroom cult kind of thing because of the mushroom doors. in the Basilica. Once you walk into it, you see it there. But like I said, that's just my opinion on it. I can't wait to hear his side of the story. Maybe you can interview him, bro.
Oh, that would be interesting. I'll have coffee with him, and then maybe I can get him on as a guest. And be like, hey, you want to do we'll do a video podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. I think that would be super interesting. Also, I want to check in with you. I don't want to give it away, but has that person checked in with you about their interview?
About their interview? Who? Wait, I'm confused.
You reached out to another channel.
Oh, Music Unlocking?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna give it away, but
yeah, no, they didn't say anything back. Now, he has liked more of my comments since I commented that. I probably commented like on maybe 5 different videos. That was the only one that he completely ignored. And I was like, that's interesting. But I have a feeling, he's gonna stay, whoever that is trying to stay secretive or something. I don't fucking know.
Gotcha. I think that would be a perfect interview for you, especially with your channel and you yourself, your fascination with Tool. I think both of you, if you put your heads together, you could come up with something very, very spectacular, whether that be a video or just even an interview just through talking. I think it would be an awesome experience just to even sit on the sideline and just really take it in.
Would be cool. I found another guy that does amazing breakdowns. I can't remember the name of the channel, so this kind of sucks, but if you just like search in YouTube, Solving Maynard's Puzzle, he has 15 different videos. Only 3 of them are available on YouTube. He's got a website, which I'm just remembering now, so I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but the links, I mean, you could easily find it, Solving Maynard's Puzzle. And mind-blowing. He's like, no, like, what did I watched part 14, and he was able to weave together Pucifer, A Perfect Circle, and Tool. He's like, Maynard is some type of fucking bard or, poet on a whole other level. That's 3 different bands. It's fucking, dude, it's so crazy. Like, it's absolutely insane. Yeah, I'll have to send you the link for that, though. We'll tag it after this. Because it's really interesting. That
is really interesting. But yeah, like I said, definitely want to build a community where we can, discuss these kind of things and talk to other people and have them come on and interview them. Because, like I said, I think that would be perfect for your channel.
Exactly. I do too. It would be very, very, very cool. Don't mind my dad. I haven't smoked in a few days, so I'm getting. I figured this would be a good time to use marijuana as a social creature instead of a mask. Instead of a mask.
Let's see. Fish is commenting, I think that the old machine could literally read biophotons from life and see what has the light inside it. Like we could see a plant and know it's psychedelic or food. That's very interesting. I would like to see that in practice myself. Fish. Yeah, Fish said that. I'm really excited to have him on the channel once his account gets solidified. So, yeah, Fish, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you being active in the comments. It's really nice to have this kind of community. Everyone's been so super nice. And like I said, I want to thank the people that have encouraged me to get on here and start doing these things because not that everybody knows this, but I'm not a talkative person. I really don't like to talk about on these subjects, really, because to me it seems like this is an important matter versus, hey, how the fuck's the weather going? I hate that type of shit. So these kind of talks are way more valid and way more important for me.
Exactly. Like Terrence said, you must find the others. And once we find the others, I guess the whole point would be to speak to one another, start talking.
Absolutely. I want to take these out of like Terrence said, like we got to take it out of the living room talks and bring it to the masses, really, to open up them just a little bit. I mean, I love his Q&A portions.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Oh, little MFLer, what's up? Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I was on Black Pocket. I'm gonna have him on the show I think maybe next weekend I'm gonna try and get him on. But yeah, Black Box is one of my close personal friends. He's a good guy. I stick up for him. He did nothing wrong. But yeah, that's a little bit of side YouTube drama. He did nothing wrong. Black Box is a good dude. Thanks for stopping in, little motherfucker feller. That's great. Love that community as well. It's always popping over there. But yeah, yeah, this is just been a fun time. I love the ramble. You know what I mean? That's really good.
You can stumble into some really interesting things just by kind of rambling, though. Yeah. Especially when you like, because we talk about weird stuff. We feel very comfortable with one another. So it's, you know, you're not trying to really suppress your thoughts or like, oh, what do I say in front of this person? Am I going to get too woo woo? Yeah, we can get as woo woo as we want.
Absolutely. Oh no, Rob and I were just discussing. He got an email from 33 degree Mason about his mystery. He's got a mystery going on with his channel and his life and how things are going. So if you want to check that out, more than welcome to hop on his channel, DM Turner. It's right there. Another plug for your channel. Awesome. It's the same screen name that he has on his channel. He does a few lives for himself, just solo, and we decided to bring it together and do a podcast and bring some other people on. It's been a fun time. I think I've done what, 3 with you?
3, yes. This is number 3.
That second one got deleted. It's gone forever. But I digress. That was just so weird. Speaking of, the YouTube algorithm is so weird. You put magic mushrooms in the title, and then all of a sudden, all the bots show up.
No, I know, it's crazy. I've noticed that. Like, it sucks because when you put that in the title or like DMT, you get more views, it gets more traffic, but then you definitely get more bots and you get more fucking the spam comments of, you know, you hit my plug up on Instagram and WhatsApp, and it's freaking annoying. It's annoying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can we just talk about medicine in peace?
Like, you guys obviously haven't tried your own supply if you are really selling.
That's very true. Because I'll be honest with you, as a cook, someone who extracts myself, it's paid the bills. But honestly, sometimes I just kind of want to hoard it all to myself, and I know that's wrong. You know, especially with this kind of medicine, I feel like you're supposed to share it.
Yeah. Like, I guess it depends on who's around to share it. But some people, it just looks like they're not ready at all. Like, they're not ready for it, and we might not be in a position to even give them the experience.
True.
Like, or freedom, you know, like if I have someone come over to my house, you know, because I'm trying to help them in some way, and then they get squirrely and the cops get called. The cops don't want to hear Mr. Urban Shaman's tale about trying to heal someone with magic mushrooms. They're going to fucking haul my ass off to jail.
This is true. Society's not ready for us, bro.
Nah, but I'm ready for them. So, ready for them.
I have a couple patrons that are coming to the temple. They're going to get purified, which I think is great because they're virgins on this kind of stuff. And I figure what better way to just get them all types of freaky with doing that for, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
The first timers go around is always fun. I like when they could, like, I've noticed you'll have some people, like, there's a difference, like how people do it and if they make it the whole way. But yeah, some of the people, they get that profound breakthrough the first time. They're able to hold it, they fucking handle it like a champ. But you could tell within that first 30 seconds, you're like, my job is done. Like, I facilitated well.
Oh yeah, when their eyes start to flutter and you get that big cheese grin from ear to ear, and they finally just feel like a weight is lifted off their shoulders. It's an amazing feeling to be on the other end of that and see that through another person, because you've created that medicine to facilitate that kind of the connection, euphoric connection.
I remember my one buddy, he was like one of the only persons that I like, traded for DMT. Like so he could get it. I gave him some DMT and he traded me. And he kept like doing it with a dab pen, like fucking it up. He's like, I get it. He's like, yeah, but he did like a half a gram of DMT, and I'm like, you're not doing it right. And we had this time at the beach, and I was the one, to hold the torch in the pipe. And 2 hits in, and he starts falling backwards, screaming, "Fucking alternate dimensions!" And I'm
like, yeah, dude, he broke through. That's great.
Yeah, he was like, I was burning it. He was like, you were right. You were right.
my homie's first time doing it, because he was, I don't want to give too much out, but he was living out in the sticks, and he was like, man, I'm gonna try this tech, see how it works out. I was like, bro, if you're interested and you need some help, let me know. And he called me up a few times. He's like, are you sure this is right? This looks weird. And I was like, nah, it's fine. If the pie turns gray, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But anyway, he called me up, and he got some goop. He got some straight goop. And I was like, dude, fire it up. I swear to God, fire it up, and you'll feel amazing. And he wanted to do like the Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia thing where you do it and they cover you with the blanket.
Oh, okay.
So he recorded it or whatever, and his hands were just like up in the air like he's on a roller coaster, and he's going, woo!
That's fucking epic. That's epic. My one buddy, I still wonder this too. Like a lot of people meet it and they see things, but I remember my one buddy me and Kyle grew up with. Kyle ended up getting him to come over. I mean, I shouldn't say I'd give too much information away, but I'm too late now. But he ends up getting him to come over. He does it. I didn't know if he was going to be able to do the whole thing, so I put extra, like hoping that like he would get more. So there was like 7 milligrams in there. He did the whole thing in one hit. Like he just like he's looking at me. He's like, "Can I keep going?" I'm like, "Dude, just keep going." And the first thing he did was he started spitting. He was like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." It was the strangest thing ever. Like I've never had people spit like that. I've had people like gasp for breath, hold their chest, kind of like shake, sometimes say nothing, or just being fits of joy. But he's like, I didn't know if I could breathe, so he kept spitting at me, like right in my face. Too. I mean, spitting in my face, like on the floor, on the walls, like yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I handled it like a champ, though. I was smiling the whole time. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Situations like that, you just got to tell them, like, no matter what, I got you. You piss, shit, cum, whatever, I got you. I'll clean it up. You throw up, I got you. No problem. You just got to let them know, take it easy. But yes, you said 7 milligrams?
75 milligrams. Yeah, 75.
Oh, jeez. Whoa, that's a lot for a first timer.
Exactly. Like I could get a breakthrough off of go between 35, but normally like 55 to 60, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, those once you get up there, it gets intense. Like once you start to get into the 75 milligram range, it's fucking, man, it's powerful. What's weird is like, I don't know, even like I don't know, what would you call it? A low threat still broken through. You seem like light wouldn't be able to crystallize anymore, but you take another hit and it just keeps solidifying. Like it just becomes more clear and clear. So clear that it's insane. Like it seems utterly impossible that it could ever get more into clarity. It's really weird.
I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, you're right. The moment of clarity, what the alcoholics call or whatever, but that moment of clarity just seems to come even faster and even just more in your face. And the longer that you wait to take another hit or try and go even further into it, the farther away it goes away from you. And you're like, no, come back. Come back.
Yeah, interesting stuff. It's definitely interesting. That's for sure.
But no, I definitely agree with you there on the higher milligram trips. But also super introspective, not only as far as like yourself, but connection as a whole. I would say your consciousness is super expansive at that point.
Yeah, it really is. It just opens up very quickly. You have to be ready for it. I think the more ready for that when, well, yeah, the more ready you are when it's that moment to put the pipe in your mouth, the better it goes. You can navigate it more because if you think as you're hitting it, like, all right, we're going to enter super consciousness now. We're going to get in there and things are going to get pretty intense. You're able to, to work more opposed to just fucking diving in. It's interesting. Either way, it's going to work, but either way, it'll work.
I mean, it's got to, otherwise the patient's going to be very disappointed. I've had one person say that like literally nothing happened, but I don't think I layered the bowl correctly. Sometimes you pack it in there at the bottom of it and they don't smoke it all the way. Like they're 3 hits in, they're like, well, I thought 3 hits was going to do it. It's all right. It's my bad. It's not a problem. Just throw more on top.
Exactly. I had somebody do it recently, and they were like hemming and hawing, and they eventually, like after months, I was like, "You want to do it?" And he's like, "Yeah." Comes over, and he's like, "I'm only going to do it once." And I'm like, "That's what you say now." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Just you'll see." He does it. He goes the first time it was 1 hit, and then he did 2. But he did it 5 times. I'm like, "Do you want to do it again?" He's like, "Dude, are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I'm like, "It's this isn't like, I don't know. We're not smoking crack over here. I'm hoping that you find something, whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it's healing or wisdom and truth. Like, yeah, dude. Like, I'll fucking keep hitting the pipe, dude. It's fine. I'll roll it up for you."
You're right, Fish. It's totally non-toxic. Not to give it away or anything, but some of the things that you use, you can definitely evaporate them and take any kind of toxicity out of it, which I find super fascinating with that medicine especially, that you can use all these things, combine them together, and you can evaporate all the supposedly negative things that would be involved with it.
Naphtha just disappears.
It does.
Listen there, and what you're left with is something to behold.
Oh, for sure. I am personally, I'm getting back into cooking. I recently bought I bought a bigger quantity, and I think I'm going to do like 2 pies at a time to try and maximize my output.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I want to get a bigger container. Like, I'm thinking of like, I don't know, some fucking, I don't know, Pyrex bowl, actually. I might just be like swing it with a big Pyrex bowl. Oh wait, well, what's nice, I haven't done it in this new place. But I find I have an electric stove now, so that'll actually be kind of like just do the crock pot. So that might be a little easier to come up with more when I do decide to do it.
Well, that's cool. I know that you haven't recently, but it was been about 6 months now at your new place?
Yeah. Was it May? I think I left May.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, May. I think it was May. But, yeah. I'm still putting this fucking place together too. It's crazy. That's how it is when you have kids. Like I unpacked like 3 totes of stuff that when I first moved and stuffed in the closet. I'm like, gosh, darn, man. Rough.
I mean, not to come up with excuses or anything, but you work full time. You also have children, so no one can blame you for being 6 months moved into a place and not have everything under pound pack, dude. No one's gonna blame you. I mean, I think it's amazing that the turnaround that you've had personally, and your personal growth in the last 6 months has been really a turnaround, honestly, because you were living in a situation where you were definitely unhappy and you were feeling attacked. If you want to go into that, you're more than welcome to. I wasn't trying to pry or anything.
No, you're fine. I'm pretty fucking open with stuff. Maybe too open at times, but yeah. No, it's definitely better because my cousin was like, he was a total square. Not at all. But it's good to be out of there now because Yeah. What's crazy is how I feel now, though. I was actually thinking about this earlier, so it's funny you brought it up. Like when everything was happening, I was so mad at him. I was like, "Fuck him, you fucking evil piece of shit." Now, like, I just hope he finds help. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason why a grown man shouldn't be able to like cook his own meals and like take care of himself. You know, that's fucking sad. It is just sad. Yeah, mac and cheese every day, same shit every day. Like, it's crazy.
Oh shit. Kyle's saying that it's Timothy Leary's birthday today, October 22nd, 1920. That's kind of, yeah, that's kind of cool. We'll have to talk about L for a little bit. But yeah, your situation was very, very weird because you would take a look at the house, the conditions of the house, and you'd say, oh, well, it seems like it's upkept. But no, you had to do a lot to try and keep that house together.
I had to do all of it. You know, that's one thing too. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm fine with living with other people and we share like the chores and stuff. But like when he was a grown man. He was in his 40s and he never did the dishes. If you were lucky, he would do the dishes. But like, I lived there for 2 years. He never used a broom. Not once cleaned the bathroom. Like when I first moved in, it was like there was piss so thick on the toilet seat. Like when you lift the seat up, it looked like somebody had spread butter on the fucking lid. And I'm like, dude, like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, I left the dishes in the sink for a couple of days. It was like, no, you didn't fucking clean ever. Like, ever. Like, it's fucking crazy. He always had other people do it. That's why he always have somebody living with him, you know, and then I think he knows this too. People feel bad, so they try to help much and they end up leaving. Yeah, and then a big fight ensues. Yeah.
Well, for one instance I can remember, and it was just being on a voice chat with you pre this podcast saying, hey, we should do a podcast, but I digress. He had like some spaghetti meal in a skillet and he had cooked it hours ago and it was still left on the burner.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's done that. Burn the house down. Like, yeah, he could cook mac and cheese, tuna fish, and spaghetti. That was like the only three things he cook. Whatever. I'm good in the kitchen, so I shouldn't fucking make fun of people. But he would always burn the spaghetti, especially the sauce. He would leave it on, you know, like medium, the whole fucking time. If you're lucky, it'd be on low, you know, it'd be on simmer. I'm like, damn, dude, like you're fucking like, I don't know. Because when I use the stove, I'm kind of OCD. Like I'll cook after I'm done cooking and everything's cleaned up. I looked at it and I go off. I do it 3 times, no matter how many burners there is. But even just checking like normally, like, oh yeah, I turned the stove off, you know, like couldn't even do that. Like couldn't even, like, yeah. He's always been like that though. When he was like 15, everyone's like, Michael's going to burn the fucking house down. Telling me he's going to burn the house down one day.
Not to get on a tangent or anything, but you and I personally came to the conclusion that this person that you were living with might have been possessed.
100% possessed with demons. I can't confirm that, like show you evidence, but yeah, like there was a or acid, but a lot of times DMT, like, you know, you're starting to break walls. Like I could see the fucking veins, like I can see my blood move and I could see everything. You start to get x-ray vision. And there was times I would see entities and creatures inside of him, like multiple of them, like laughing at me, like ha ha ha, as his face is just stuck to the computer screen for, you know, 20 hours a day. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking absolutely insane. And when I said something to him, you know, I was like, dude, like, I think you, well, actually, no, that was the weird thing, actually. I'll get into that part of the story. So I see all these demons, and then I made that video. That's how he originally found out that I even mentioned he had a demon in him. He never watched any of my YouTube videos, ever. And I made these sigils on these little wooden circles, and when he was gone, I stuck them under his bed, and it was to trap an evil spirit. Well, he came back, and then that night, at 3 a.m, he watched the video where I was like, yeah, this dude's got demons inside of him. And I'm like, we got to do something about him. We got to get rid of him. He took that as, he thought I was going to kill him, like get rid of him like that. I didn't mean that, but yeah, I just found it really interesting that in some way that those little wooden sigils worked. Yeah. I did get rid of it though. I got rid of it because he ran out of the house in terror.
It worked more ways than one, apparently.
It did. It definitely did. He's got that one girl that used to come over though, Kaylee. He's got her living there now. I wonder how that is. So she's a doozy too. She's kind of like him, but in a female form.
Oh boy, both of them living together? Genius.
Oh, I know. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, but he had demons in him for sure. They were everywhere. But little did I know, I had demons in me. I didn't fucking, if I knew at that point, how serious it really was. I wonder how many of them, like, what's the average number of spirits we have, whether latched to us or inside of us, outside of us, however it's working? Is it a couple? Is it a dozen? Are some people, do they have hundreds of them that are just sucking off them? Like, I don't know.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Like, I got a pocket full of spirits. Well, what's interesting is when you look into Solomonic magic and you go through these entities, they control legions of spirits normally. Some of them be like 100 legions of spirits or 20 legions of spirits. I wonder how many you could actually have. Like, if you could build relationships with entities and have them with you always, no matter whatever level of existence. Like, is there a max number? Like Facebook can only have 5,000 friends. Like, how many entities can I have in my pocket? How many can I have? I want
for sure.
Small. I don't want to catch them though. I just want to befriend them. You got to be friends.
Sure.
Gotta be friends. Damien Eccles goes into that. I don't know if you've ever watched any of his videos. He's a really interesting guy. But yeah, he goes into the whole like vampire thing and how vampires actually work. Not like suck your blood, but there's entities that leech and live off of people and like live off of different types of energy. It's fucking fascinating. Like, just to ponder all the different types of life forms there are and how they sustain themselves and survive. And because in some way they all eat. They don't eat food, they eat other stuff. Energy, information, maybe feelings. Like the old hag, she thrives on fear, like it's monsters and folk. Sick bitch.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
What's that?
Said I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But go on.
I was just thinking, because of the old hag, people catch her in dreams normally, the Baba Yaga. But I was just thinking, I've been having really strange dreams lately. The alien dreams. I keep thinking about these, dude. Like, my dreams are, I'm laying in my fucking living room. Everything is as it's supposed to be. It seems like I'm not dreaming, but somehow something's telling me you're dreaming. And it's like I wake up and I'm looking around and it's dark, but not completely dark, because I always have like candles or like a dim light going. And all of a sudden, like dominoes, they start to fucking materialize around me. They're about 2.5 to 3 feet tall, look like classic aliens, like grays, more green. They have, some of them have patterns on their skin though, which is really interesting. Different types of patterns overlaid on them, like how we have skin cells, but it's something different. It's I don't even. Yeah, and they're just like looking at me, and kind of like moving around, like checking things out. Now, my buddy, one of the last people, actually nobody else, he's the only person that's ever come here to do it. I haven't really had any guests in this new house yet. He did it, and he was like, dude, he's like, something was watching me. He's like, there's fucking something here. He was like, they weren't mean. He's like, but they were checking me out. And I'm like, did you see him? He's like, I couldn't see him. They didn't want me to see them. Like, he's like, I don't know why I'm saying that. He's like, but I could just tell that they didn't want to be seen, but they wanted me to know they were there and observing everything. And interesting. And then I had that alien experience not that long ago. Was fucking crazy. Not the dream. When I was on the mushroom, and man, fucking aliens, dude. Like, the mental communication that these things started doing with me was absolutely insane. Yeah, just speaking telepathically, vividly and clearly right into my mind, where it was clearly not thought. They're like, yo, dude, we're already here. They're like, why you're thinking about when we're gonna come? We're here right now. And I'm like, wait, what? And then you could see like fucking silhouettes start to vibrate so fast, like 4 feet in front of me. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Dude, I was absolutely frozen in fucking terror at that point. And I've met so many entities, but once it was there in this reality, it became super real. Like, you know how when you do DMT, you're like, wow, that's realer than real. It was so real that I was terrified, absolutely terrified. I was fucking frying on the ground, I was trying to cling to this world so bad. And they're like, are you ready? We're going to take you. And I'm like, no. You know what's playing too? Like, as I was saying, no, you can't take me. And I'm holding the ground. Tool is playing in my headphones, which I had ripped out and thrown on the floor. And it goes, turn around and take my hand. And I'm like, and there they were. When I turned around, there they were. My heart is racing just telling that story, because I know that they're always here. At least that's what they told me. What they told me it was.
You and I have discussed that there's many layers to this, and I feel as though that most of these medicines, like Terrence McKenna talks about, Alan Watts talks about, even Ram Dass talks about, that either through meditation or through some of these medicines that we use, that we can sort of like lift this veil and see through the other layers that are actually there, and see these other things that can interact with us or can manipulate us to suck off all of our energy, the information that we have, things like that, and use it to manipulate us later. Those are just my feelings on it. But you and I have discussed many times, and to me, the alien presence I have encountered multiple times myself. Although I've never been scared, possibly because this is just my own experience. But they keep telling me I'm one of them, so I mean that's comforting, right?
Yeah. At the end of our conversation, like with these aliens, it was clear that somehow I was like, they were one of me and I was one of them in a way. It was nice because like at one point, like I said, there was absolute sheer terror because they were like, we're gonna take you now. And I was like, holy fuck, oh, like you can't take me, like, you know what I mean? But then they're like, dude, we're friends. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, we're your fucking friends, dude. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, and like the weight just dropped and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, so you're not gonna like hurt me? And they're like, no, dummy. And I'm like,
Fish,
oh,
Fish has an interesting comment.
What is it?
He says, we become the machine elves, they are us. And then the second comment is, or maybe that's what we seem like in their space. Sorry.
He says that. So I've talked about this one experience a few times. Like, I did DMT to third eye 3 times, right? One time was with one guy, the other time was with my buddy Kyle. I did it, the elves were everywhere. They were overlaid. I was fucking sure that I had seen some kind of like fabric of reality. Like, that was a big part of truth in some way. I don't know how else to say that. But but it like they were me. Like I was made of the elves, like some giant elf made out of billions of other elves, and I'm like, I was fucking appalled. I was about to vomit. Kyle's like, "Are you all right, dude?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I need this to go away and go away now. This shit ain't fucking real. Fuck this drug." I was saying all that shit, and then I came down and I'm like, "I got to do it again." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I got to do it again."
Yes, that's awesome.
Same shit. They're like, "What the fuck, dude?" They're like, "Didn't you just see us?" Like, so I'm like, "Holy fuck, I'm gonna puke again." I'm gonna puke. See, it was okay. I was looking at Kyle and he's like, "Rob, are you okay, buddy?" And they were like moving his mouth, like they had like their hands were moving his mouth, and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, dude." But when I looked at my own hands and I was like, "I'm not all right no more." Like, it's okay if they make Kyle, it's okay if they make my furniture and the floor, but what the fuck are you doing making me? Like, why are you doing that? It was
that is such an eye opener, Rob. Such an eye opener.
Was. Like, no, they're making me too.
You have to wonder sometimes if they're the way that we connect is the fact that we're both creators. You know what I'm saying? We're on that same wavelength for some of these entities. Same frequency, excuse me. We're on the same frequency. So it wouldn't seem, in my head, it would make it easier to communicate with things that are on your same frequency. So, you know, it's kind of, how do I want to put this, comforting to know that I'm not the only one that's having the same kind of experiences, although it'd be a little bit different, but generally the same. I kind of keep a log of these kind of things, and generally, I don't know if it's maybe the method that we're using or the purity factor of both of our medicines, just the overall, I would say, overall ending part of that sounds generally the same, you know, meeting entities and telling and having entities tell you information, whether that's personal or whether it's personal to you or personal to, say, someone else close to you. I find that so fascinating.
I just had a weird thought. In a way, I would almost consider DMT an amplifier, right? It amplifies things. I don't know, like, so I've had experiences with DNA a lot, seeing DNA. Like, if DMT is some kind of amplifier and it amplifies the resonance of our DNA structure, is our likelihood to meet certain entities or archetypes tied to our DNA? Like, you know, because I'm Irish and this, like I do this drug and my genes start vibrating at this certain frequency, or that's amplified, maybe, you know, if it works that way. Is that why I get elves? You know, that's what Terrence said. He was like, "I'm fucking part Irish." He's like, "Is that why I got fucking elves?" Like, you know, like, what is it? You know, like if you're black, like you get like Nubian goddesses and stuff like that. Like, what?
Sure.
What's the deal?
This is very interesting that it would be tied to your lineage or your DNA. But then again, Terrence has always said, you know, from his trips to the Amazon, that most of the shamans would say that the entities are us. You know, they're our ancient ancestors.
I find that so fascinating too, that their goal was to speak to the little people.
What's that one story that he tells about the butterflies, that they all do this, you know, ayahuasca trip, and he just gets so annoyed with everybody, he wanders off alone into the woods, and he just sits alone and meditates and conjures all of these butterflies, and he comes running back to the little villages they're all hanging out in, and he says, "Guys, you gotta follow me. Come here. I can do this whole thing." And he tries to replicate it, and everyone's looking at him like he's crazy.
Yeah. There's so many times I have. Yeah, it's really vindicating when you have somebody else there to see it. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, this one time, this is when I first started getting into it and like working with energy with my physical body. And this girl Topaz comes over. We take like 3 or 4 hits of acid each. And at one point, I'm like taking my hands. I don't know if some people that are watching, I'm just taking my hands and I'm doing like half circular movements with my wrist, just like twisting it back and forth. And I have my hand like I would be holding like a softball or something. Like it looks like there's a bowl in the palm of my hand. And eventually I get in this rhythm and I start doing it faster and faster and faster and faster. And all of a sudden she could hear it. Like she comes out of her closed eye visuals and she's like, what's that sound? And I'm like, look at this. And she's like, how are you doing that? I was generating light from my hand, like starting to create an orb in my hand by like rotating my hand really fast. You know, I was doing it for like a minute or two, but eventually like she could hear it, you know, and then she saw it. I'm like, I feel vindicated. Like somebody else witnessed. Like, it's so nice. So nice. Yeah, but sometimes people are like, yeah, dude, you're crazy. It didn't fucking work. And I'm like, fuck, experiment shit.
There's also another story Terrence tells about him and his brother. His brother, I can't remember what his brother's name is. I think it starts with a D, but I digress. His brother has this theory that if, you know, he puts enough medicine, mushrooms, for example, he puts enough medicine into him and he gives him, he blares like a frequency at him that the medicine would become like ingrained into his DNA.
Whistles. Yo, that's what it was. They were whistles too. Like they were super high pitched and they would get in a group of them and they would take turns. Like I would inhale and start ringing. And then right before, you know, I lost all of air in my lungs, you would start going it. So you'd get this continuous circle of this fucking high pitched vibration noise, you know, while on a substance. I could totally picture that. Dennis is interesting. Like I love Terrence. I got to listen to more of Dennis because he has like a whole other like take on things, but he's still like, he's very eloquent, you know, and he speaks very well. His stories are amazing. Yeah, he was like, dude, he's like, we almost had it. The story of the good shit. He's like, we fucking created the good shit. It was what the hash with the psilocybin in it. They manifested it, but it's from India. It was fucking Milani hash with psilocybin in it. Dude, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. Awesome. Or the naked guy with the key. Do you remember that story that Terrence told? The naked guy with the key.
No, go on.
So, you know, this is when they're in, I don't know if they're in La Chorrera, but they're on that voyage in South America. And they end up at this one place and there's another guy with them. He's butt naked in this room for like a week. You know, like they're all like borderline losing their minds. I think it was La Chorrera. Borderline losing their minds. And Terrence was like talking to this guy and they're all on mushrooms. And he's like, dude, he's like, I had this box when I was a little kid. And he was like, you know, we lost the key almost right away, but I've always had the box. And the naked guy, completely naked, butt naked, nothing in this room, he starts thinking really hardly. And then eventually he slams his hand in the palm of Terrence's hand and he opens his hand and there was the key. The key from the box. Wow. Years prior. And he's like, it wasn't just the mushrooms. He's like, you weren't just seeing, you know, things. He's like, it was the key. It was it.
That's very interesting that he would get that. Man. But yes, sense. Dennis, he's a very interesting fellow. I think I've seen a few of his Joe Rogan interviews, you know, the Forbidden podcast. I've seen a few of his things on there. Also, I've seen some what I would call like home video footage from Terrence McKenna's personal library online, and some of their talks together have been very interesting.
Yeah, they're really interesting. I kind of like the home talks, actually. Those ones are good too. They have a different feel. You know, because it seems like he's not warming up to the crowd as much and, you know, giving the Shane Mo spiel. Some videos, like he's more with is they're up to speed, you know, so they go more in depth in it. Because sometimes you hear some of their videos and it's like some of these lectures, you could tell they're just covering the same thing, you know, telling the same story in a way.
Oh yeah, at least I would say Terrence kind of made it more of like a circus showman type of entertainer type of person, and that's what kind of drew me into the whole spiel in the first place, was the fact that not only was he informative, but he was also entertaining. Especially being a nerd myself, like it gave me hope that I could be cool. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because you look at Terrence and he, you know, scrawny, glasses, wiry, you know, like by normal standards of society, he would look like he doesn't amount to much. But when you listen to him speak, you're like, he's the coolest fucking dude I've never met. This is just awesome.
He was on the wave, man. He really was on the forefront of so much memes, the internet, and you and I've had some conversations about, you know, maybe he's transferred his soul into the internet, and that's why there's all these videos and still popping up all the informative documentary series things that he's done. They're all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. I really think that he's somehow projected his soul back into the internet. That's just my theory.
That's funny you say that too, and this is just the theory, but like the last couple months I've noticed, so AI is generating a lot more art. People are starting to put out these videos a lot more like, oh, this is a tool video and this is what AI did for the art. What if, like, I don't know, could have Terrence influenced AI in any way? Like if his spirit is stalking the interwebs, you know, is he able to adjust his own videos, you know, like create some of the images, you know, like that they're showing us when he's speaking? Those ones are cool. The AI generated Terrence talks, they're fucking sweet, actually. They really are. They are. So many cool ones. Their Lateralis video that they just put out recently, dude, fucking mind blowing. AI Lateralis.
That is very interesting. I would love to get into that and possibly help you make a video about it if you're interested.
So they've been talking about things recently. Did you see the thing where AI Joe Rogan and AI conversation? They did a podcast.
No, I have not.
Oh, so this is what AI can do now. So all of our talks and stuff like that, AI is listening, right? It could take everything that we said, and it could start to create its own dialogue and start to speak for us, essentially. It can create its own conversation with our voice, and it could pretty much determine what things we would say, jokes we would tell. It's fucking kind of creepy, actually. What if they had that with Terrence? You know what I mean? Instead of like Joe Rogan, if AI took all the Terrence talks and actually made its own, it started to create a new one, replicating Terrence McKenna, but it's actually AI. You know, I wonder what it would come up with, because the Steve Jobs and fucking Joe Rogan thing, that was interesting. Dude, it's kind of scary, because then AI could essentially have conversations you never had. You know, you could be indicted on criminal charges, maybe threats, terrorism. There's a long
like a deep fake kind of thing, yeah.
Exactly. You know, because they're like, no, it's you. It's even your fucking voice. You know what I mean? And it's your face, and it's like, no, that's a computer, dude. Like, it's not actually me. It's like bullshit. I actually just watched that episode, so I'm really weird. Rosetta Stone, right? If this thing keeps playing itself out, you know what I'm talking about, Denver. This is my weirdness. But like, and the X-File being, I've been watching X-Files the last like 5 days. I put it on. And today I got to the episode, the ghost in the machine. I think it was episode 5 of season 1 in X-Files. This is in the early 90s. So there's this big building, Eurisco, in the show, and Dana Scully and Fox Mulder, they're investigating it because it looks like the building murdered somebody, and everyone's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? How could a building kill somebody? Well, in this episode, it was about how AI essentially controlled this entire building, and it could do whatever it wanted. It was completely sentient. It thought for itself. Started killing people, and I was like, oh, this is fucking crazy, dude. Like, but this is back in the 90s. You know what I mean? It's like, what's up with these shows, dude? Like, yeah, X-Files, for people that haven't watched it in a long time, I highly recommend going back and watching X-Files. It's on Hulu. On Hulu. It's fucking crazy because it's all about this stuff. You know, it's aliens and UFOs, abductions and Bigfoots and fucking, you know, ancient civilizations, viruses. There was like, you know, fucking meteors had hit Antarctica or Alaska, and they go up there. And next thing you know, there's like these zombie viruses trying to take over people. And I'm like, this is fucking strange, dude. Like, strange shit. What if, this would be really weird, but like, and this is just me sci-fi talking, but like, imagine if they made a movie where the coronavirus, the vaccine, like the virus is made specifically to make the vaccine. Okay, so like the vaccine would be, that's where the vaccine, they're actually implanting an egg, an organism in you. That grows slowly over time, but eventually they're able to like turn it on when they want to speed up the growth, and this thing becomes alive inside, actually hijacks the host. Yeah, because that's kind of like what the X-Files episode was like. That's what it looked like. You know, eventually it would just hijack the host. They would feed on part of this one part of the brain where it would produce a certain chemical which increased aggression, which, you know, people just wanted to fucking murder each other. And I'm like, that would be nuts, dude. Like, you know, that'd be nuts. It would. They just turn them all on. Like, no, we're zombies now.
Do you think it would be like, Aliens, where, you know, the inner being pops out of the host's stomach and then they're able to roam free finally?
Yeah, in a way, exactly. Yeah, they'd break out, or maybe they'll just stay inside you forever. Who knows? You know, whether they ditch your body, or they just, you know, completely take you over and they live behind your eyeballs, like in fucking, I don't know, some Tool video or something.
Could be like Men in Black, where there's a little guy behind their face controlling.
Weird noise. What's going on there? Is that candle? Wait a minute. Okay. It was just a candle. My candle had like tipped over.
Oh.
Yeah, and it started to like crack the glass of the container it was in. Interesting. Oh, Denver, can you see? I don't know if you could see me.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mushroom trip recently, right? So I maybe you've seen this. I do these little sigils, and my buddy Kyle was talking about it. He's like, I don't know how you have so many candles letting you trip on mushrooms. He's like, it would freak me the fuck out as a firefighter. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm tripping on the mushrooms, and then I end my night. I go out in my living room, and I have a candle, a glass, you know, like it's a glass candle holder, and I set it on the sigil, and it ends up, the glass breaks, starts to burn through the paper. It burned through 12 papers, and it started burning this big wooden fucking desk I had. Something had like put it out. Like, yeah, it was really weird. Like, it looked like something saved me. Because I was passed out at the tail end of a mushroom trip at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and my house almost burned down, I guess, when I was sleeping.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yep. This is on the eyes of Horus and Ra. That was the weird thing. Eyes of Horus and Ra. The yin and yang. The Egyptians. Yin and yang. So many weird things. We live in such a weird place, dude. Such a weird time. It's really interesting.
So interesting. The
So
Earth is super old. Just glad we're living in the same timeline.
No, I know, right? I know. Random thought. Because I've been looking into this more. What's your take on the mud flood theory? Are you familiar with that?
Is that where?
The 1800s, late 1700s, 1800s. Supposedly, people claim that there was some kind of cataclysm. Don't know how big, how far it stretched, but essentially, you know, there was advanced civilization living really close to us at the time. Not farther back, but closer than we would think. Because you get these things like the Paris Exposition and also the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. They were able to build things that we can't do at all today. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do it today, not at all. It was like money wasn't object at all. You know, it's really strange. It wasn't an object, but it looks like some of them were found. You know, like some of the buildings in Paris and stuff like that, and throughout Europe. They might be a lot older than you would even think. You know, they say they're built in the 1800s, and it's like, well, how the fuck do we know? We didn't even have cameras then. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do I know when it was built? You got a picture of you building it?
Oh yeah. I'll have to look into that mud flood thing. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, mud flood's interesting. Yeah, because you get different stratas, like layers. You know, like when you look at the ground, there's like you could tell that there's been huge mud floods. You know, there's just thick layers of mud. What would that look like? You know, you're going to work. Next thing you know, there's a flood of mud. You know, 100 feet high. Like, that would suck. Imagine dying in mud. What would that be like to choke on mud? Choke on mud.
Very unpleasant.
Yeah, I'd rather drown in water than drown in mud. Yes.
Well, it also, with the same respect, kind of makes you think about Pompeii when that volcano exploded and all those people were preserved in with sulfur, wasn't it?
Not sure what chemical, but yeah. Pompeii, that's an interesting story. It is. And yeah. That just reminded me of I don't know why, but Hiroshima and Nagasaki, some of the people, their shadows were flashed like a camera in a way.
Oh yeah, I've seen the nuclear tests that they did in like the back then, the nuclear tests they did. I can't remember. I want to say the 50s, but I digress. And they had literally a guy standing from a huge steel curtain, and then they did a radiation flash. His silhouette was still on the giant iron curtain that they had.
That'd be absolutely insane. It really would. See, I've had dreams like that and trips where I felt like I've been really close to nuclear explosions, but nothing where I could be like, yo, I was part of like, I don't know, an agency and I witnessed one deal, this realm. It's fucking terrifying at the same time. Like it's cool in some sense, but then it's absolutely terrifying another way. Really,
oh yeah, because it could happen to us at any moment, dude.
Any moment. Fucking yeah, I guess Russia, this is weird too. Russia and the United States just announced too they're going to be doing nuclear drills next week, which makes me a little concerned because a lot of times these drills are just, facades to actually move massive amounts of troops around and move their weapons into place. Like, no, we're just doing a drill and a training exercise. That's why we're moving our stuff around. But really, they're putting all their pieces for everyone to see, but saying it's a drill.
What a weird time to live in. Not to get off on your subject, but speaking of nuclear, the Chinese have recently just launched their own sun.
Get out of here.
Yeah, they just launched their own physical sun that is in our orbit, that is closer to our Earth. If that doesn't like put us into a weird position, I don't know. But I want to encourage people to look it up. I've seen video footage of it. It is real. I'm not sure what they what they made the sun out of, but they've launched it.
Well, what if you could take, like, okay, so it is a nuclear bomb, nuclear fission, like the sun is nuclear fission. If you could send a nuclear bomb into space, blow it, but then put some kind of capsule around it so it doesn't keep expanding or fizzle out. Yeah, how would you be able to generate it and sustain it? I could picture it in my mind. I don't know if it would work scientifically, like the math of it. Yeah, but
no, that's solid. That speaking of nuclear, I was just like, oh damn, we're not the only ones that are preparing for some kind of nuclear catastrophe. I guess other countries are preparing for it as well. It's just, what a time to be alive, man.
Yeah, they're all preparing.
What you got going on in your dab situation? You got anything fruity?
This is the end of it. I've barely got anything in here. This one's sour grape. Nice. I took one dab earlier, like a small dab, though I fucking spent like 3.5 hours cleaning my house and shit. I was like, I'm like, you're okay to smoke a dab. I'm really kicking myself about this shit. Man, I don't know if I'm being too hard on myself or if I need to be hard on myself. I'm like, nah, like, I don't know. Yeah. What's weird too is like, cause I do landscaping. One of the guys at work, he's like, he's like, I fucking found one of those bracelets things. He's like, you want it? And I'm like, sure. And it says, relentless effort. And like, that's the one thing I'm trying to do is like, and quit for, well, actually kind of like 5 different vices in my life at the same time. That's fucking tricky, dude. Like, it's really tricky. Doing one at a time is hard as it is, but like doing multiple or trying to on multiple things it's fucking really challenging. It is. Some days are better than others, though. They are.
I'm sure it is, man. Being at the age that we're both at, they don't tell you when you first start being conscious or whatever that even the littlest thing can become a huge habit later.
Yeah, that's right. It really could. You don't know how it's going to spiral out of control either. Well, it doesn't have to spiral out of control, but it manifests itself in so many different weird ways. It really does. Yeah. And then you have that moment of clarity. Holy fuck, I didn't realize.
Especially when you're not thinking about it. You know what I mean? It just pops up out of nowhere. It's like, damn. But no, I mean...
And now I'm doing this.
I think people need to have their own personal battles, because I don't think people are supposed to be stagnant.
Nope. I don't like it either. I don't like stagnation. I don't. It's weird because like, I don't know, like some parts of my life are ritualistic, like they're the same, and I like it like that, because it's, I don't know, like I like ritual. But then the other part of me is like novelty. Like I want to go new places. Like if I had money, I would literally walk across the face of the fucking earth. I would walk everywhere if you want. I would see everything, talk to everybody. But yeah. I try to watch different shows or listen to different music and stuff, eat different foods as much as I can.
Oh yeah, you gotta grow.
Asian food kick lately. Like, really nice though. I love it. It's tasty. Tasty.
All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up. It's been good talking with you. We went for about an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody that stopped in tonight. It's been awesome just having everybody stop in, have some good comments, have some good chats, talk about some things. Like I said, want to try and do this either on my channel or Rob's channel every Saturday. And just kind of talk for an hour and a half or an hour or 45 minutes, whatever. And just kind of chill. I think it's been going awesome so far. I'd like to thank my guest Rob for coming out and giving us his time. I appreciate it. It's been super awesome so far. And to even more down the road, I'm sure this will expand. More people will be involved with it. And we'll get something awesome going. I feel this is the roots of something amazing. So eventually we'll be having a ragtag team of people doing what they want and having fun with it, because that's what it's all about, man. Discussions and getting into it, just talking. Let us know, or let everyone know on your channel, DM Turner. You can look that up if you want to follow Rob. About your email, I know you said you were gonna email him back. For those of you who are paying attention at the beginning, that he did indeed come in contact with a 33-degree Mason, and they're going to be contacting. Hopefully, Rob can get like an interview with this guy, and it would be very interesting to hear his theories and thoughts on the whole mystery that Rob's going through right now. Like I said, if you want to follow him, look up DM Turner, DM Turner on YouTube. He's got plenty of videos to keep you entertained as well, just to plug that out there. And also, like I said, we're trying to do this every Saturday from a little late night talk. Keep everybody interested and having fun. But it's been a pleasure having you on, Rob.
Thank you for having me, talking with you.
Absolutely.
It's fun. They're always fun. One thing I want to add to with this guy, once I email him back, what's nice is I noticed he actually does all the symbolism for all the Freemasonic sites in Western New York and New York State. They're always done by Brother Ken Stuzniski. I'm really looking forward to emailing him and then putting a video out about that, because he knows his symbols for sure. He knows his symbols. He does the artwork for everyone. So
Oh wow, that's a crucial bit of information left on there at the end.
Talk to him, that's for sure. So we'll have more. All right, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, talk to you. Thank you. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Take it easy.
Later.
Yep. All right, everyone, that was our chat with Rob. Always a pleasure to have him on the channel. I want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. Really digging these talks, really digging the people that are coming in. Can't wait to expand, have more people on the panel. It's been a wonderful time. So I'm going to let y'all go. Peace.